Alright there, you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the Crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes, you the person who possibly looks a little bit better because I've got a new camera. Either that, or you can just see how very tired I am in 4K. Oh dear. What a mistake I've made. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week, and this week we have none other than thank man Kovacs for their suggestion of video games that changed how you see the world around you. And I thought that this is such a brilliant suggestion because we incorporate games so much in our day-to-day that of course we're going to look at them as products of the society that we're in. From games that invite players to think critically about politics to those that helped us process grief and even ones that made us feel like better people, these video games that we're going to be talking about today left us all reconsidering the way that we live our lives and our place in the universe. So let's have a chat about them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video games that changed how you see the world. Number 8, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. It's truly staggering how well Metal Gear Solid 2 is aged over the last almost quarter century. Far from merely just being a well-oiled stealth action sequel, Sons of Liberty is a shockingly ahead of its time slice of pop fiction. As a meditation on the flow of information and technology's role in making truth become increasingly difficult to discern, Sons of Liberty basically feels like it predicted the nature of modern algorithm-driven social media years in advance. And it is quite scary for doing so. On a broader level as well, Metal Gear Solid 2 also inspired an entire generation of young players to take a more active interest in the history and politics that defined their very existence, while also considering their lives through a more philosophical lens. Because that's the thing about Sons of Liberty. You'll be playing it thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to choke some guys out, I'm going to steal some dog tags, I'm going to watch ice cubes melt in real time. Why was that a feature? But I'm not thinking about that. But by the end of it, you'll be like, bloody hell, maybe I should actually think about voting. Maybe I actually should consider who I'm voting for. Maybe I shouldn't, further down the line in the grander scheme of Metal Gear Solid games, not vote for the guy who definitely looks like he's on steroids and talks about nano machines, son. For young players just starting to think about the wider world in a deeper way, Sons of Liberty feels kinda like being woken up from the Matrix. Weird. Maybe less goopy protein egg food though. Thank God. Number 7, Spiritfarer. Now, there are few harder aspects of the human existence than getting to grips with the death of a loved one and working through that grief. Movies, music, and indeed video games can serve as great comfort food during that period, but sometimes there are a few games that dare to go further. And Spiritfarer is one of them. It isn't merely another cozy indie charmer, it is a game deeply entrenched within the actualities of death and its aftermath, with players taking control of Stella, a ferry master who helps the spirit of the dead venture on into the afterlife. Now, you needn't believe in the great beyond for Spiritfarer to shift your perspective on death, to view it as less of a horrible thing than a natural inevitability, the price that we pay just for existing. Countless articles have been written about how Spiritfarer helped people cope with both grief and the general notion of death. But perhaps most importantly of all, it is a game about remembering to live while you're actually here. And that is a message that I really resonate with. To not focus on the end of things, about what is next, but to appreciate what is now. To make sure that that moment that you're living in, that you make it the best that you possibly can. It's why at the end of all of these videos, I just want people to live healthy and happy lives, because I want them to enjoy what they have now, to build into better things, rather than just to look to the very end of things and go, well, I don't like that. I want to avoid that. You can't. You can't avoid death. Unless you're Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. And you're not Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Thank God. Number 6, Dark Souls. Now, it might sound silly at first, but genuinely, Dark Souls and really the entire Soulsborne brand has been teaching players the virtues of patience and perseverance the whole damn time. While many players will obviously bounce off from Software's tough action games in record time, for those who refuse to tap out, their brains are actually being slyly reprogrammed to appreciate the merits of getting knocked down, dusting yourself off Chumbawamba style, learning your lessons, and then trying again until you succeed. Kind of wish that the Chumbawamba song was actually in Dark Souls now. That makes sense to me. I get knocked down, I get up again, you're never gonna get me down, I get knocked down. That's the official dance, by the way. You do this and you pivot like you're a big pigeon about to take off. Now, applying yourself and growing from your mistakes is vital in these games just as it is in life. And for anyone just coasting through existence, Soulsborne games can be weirdly inspiring in their own very brutal way. No matter how insurmountable a task may seem, there is usually a way through, even if you may need to knuckle down and take a few nasty hits first. Now, this isn't the reason why these games are so popular, but in its own disarming way, it's certainly helping them resonate with millions, consciously or not. Number 5, Life is Strange. Now, Life is Strange has lingered around in the general gaming consciousness for almost an entire decade, in large part because of its central theme and choices and consequences. They just hit so damn hard. With players able to rewind time in order to redo in-game choices, it offers up a fascinating what-if element. A privilege, of course, that none of us have in reality. And naturally, with the original game's devastating final choice, it leaves players to reflect on the very notion of choice in their own lives. And that is this, that tough decisions should not be made quickly or easily. And sometimes there actually isn't an easy path forward. To many, Life is Strange inspired them to be more present in their lives, to take stock of the outcome of their actions, no matter how minor, and do as much as possible with absolute intention. And indeed, the impact of this game's story and thematics is precisely why players have had such a, what should we call it, Si? Passionate reaction to the recent sequel, Double Exposure. Number 4, Death Stranding. Oh, looky there, it's Hideo Kojima guy. He's back in again, and as absurd as it might sound for the world's most advanced delivery simulator to be a genuinely thought-provoking piece of art, Death Stranding is and does offer a breathtakingly profound perspective on things. Because first and foremost, the game is focused far less on combat than exploring the great outdoors and traversing the United States, where every sliver of terrain is a puzzle unto itself. It's eye-wateringly beautiful locales inspired primarily by Icelandic geography inspired many to somewhat ironically put down their controller, head outside and enjoy the natural beauty outside their home. It quite literally prompted people to get out and explore the world around them, albeit hopefully without a huge, weird backpack on and a baby strapped to them. I mean, if you've got a baby and it's yours, feel free to go out on a walk, but I'm just saying, don't steal a baby, all right? Sorry, put up this is a government mandated warning. Do not steal babies. Imagine that getting knighted for saying don't steal a baby. All right there, Prince Charles? Yeah. Who's this? Oh, it's Big Pidge. What's up, Big Pidge? Yeah, I'll accept the knighthood. Only if you knight him as well. Sir Bigger Pidge. Sir Julian of Egg. And on top of this, the game's central theme of human connection could not have come at a better time, given both the ever-isolating nature of modern technology and, of course, the fact that Death Stranding released mere months before the global pandemic. That was a fun time, wasn't it? Playing this game in the middle of lockdown definitely was a trip, that's for damn sure, and a potent reminder of just how much humans innately crave interaction. It's why I've gone absolutely mad, because I talk to myself here, imagining that Si is over there. But again, it's not. It's just my neighbour, as per usual. Who's taken to closing the blinds, by the way. Normally, I can look over there. Sometimes we'll actually see each other and I'll be like, all right, and you can see they've got the lights on over here. I've got I look like an absolute madhead, but he's taken to closing the blinds recently. Is this a personal dig? Number 3, God of War 2018. Now, 2018's God of War marked a massive turning point for the franchise, as it sought to accompany its customary face-melting action with a richer, more cinematic level of storytelling and characterization. All the same, who expected this game to offer one of the most unforgettable portrayals of a father-son relationship? Enough so that numerous critics and players alike reported that the game inspired them to be better parents to their children. Even if you don't have children, don't steal a baby though, a core thematic tenet of God of War 2018 is the capacity for people to grow, change, and become better no matter how fraught their past might be. And given that Kratos is a hulking mountain of man-meat, it's obviously impossible impossible not to view this through the prism of masculinity in particular. Who among us can't hear the words "don't be sorry, be better" reverberate through our brains whenever we think of this game? For all of its gloriously glorious action, so much of God of War is about the potential for redemption, as long, that is, as you're willing to put in the work, because that's what really matters. You can say that you've changed, but actually change. That's the hard part. Number 2, journey. Now, I tell you what, often I can't even go down to the shops or the bureau de change and not think that life is getting a bit hectic and stressful at times, you know what I mean? So sometimes I just want to take a step back, take a huge breath and appreciate adventure in its entirety. Journey is a wordless 2-hour experience in which players traverse a beautiful landscape while heading towards a mysterious mountain that is just off in the distance. It's like, hello, nice to see you, I'm a mountain. And you're like, I'll climb you. And he's like, go ahead. Now, throughout the adventure, players may come across others also playing this game, but with no ability to communicate and no need to cooperate in order to make progress, there's a poignant, ephemeral quality to these interactions. In its entirety, Journey feels like a simple but brilliantly effective metaphor for life, which is also a short thing that is filled with beauty and fleeting interactions with other human beings doing the very same thing as you, just trying to get on with their lives and enjoy the scenery. Journey is a serene reminder to drink in these specific, gorgeous moments, to be open to others and enjoy yourself, because it's probably later than you think. And another thing, like I always say at the end of these videos, the only way that we're going to get through this thing, this crazy thing called life, is together. So it's another beautiful reminder of that. And number 1, Like a Dragon. Now, the Yakuza / Like a Dragon franchise may be a deeply silly collection of melodramatic action games populated with hilariously cartoonish characters, but there's also a heart-on-sleeve earnestness to the character interactions throughout. Now, if you were just to take a passing look at these games, it would be easy to dismiss them as uncritically hyper-masculine nonsense, yet especially in more recent entries, the franchise has offered up one of gaming's most potent meditations on masculinity itself. Romance and meaningful male friendships are ever present throughout the series, with the central characters regularly dialoguing about their problems in healthy ways. In between, of course, beating up thugs to a pulp with a bicycle. Beyond that, the series riffs powerfully on themes such as regret, self-improvement, second chances, and the power of forgiveness, inspiring players to take some of its ideas to heart in between all of this ridiculousness. Nobody expected this franchise to do anything but entertain, yet, like so much great media, it massages genuine life lessons into superficially frothy, straightforward framework. So yeah, the next time that you're beating somebody to death with a scooter, you can just be like, and the guy on the floor is just like, mate, are you actually beating me up because of the fact that I killed your mentor? Or actually, are you beating me up because of relationships that you've had with your father? Difficulties there? No, it's definitely because you killed my mate. Oh well, fair enough. But I will think on it though. Thank you, mate. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video games that change how you see the world around you. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. And put your suggestions for next week's episode in there as well, because I love reading all of them, and I bloody love doing this series, as you might have guessed, for the... How many years, Si, has it been? Like 2 years, 3 years that we've been doing this series? Obviously, you and I have been doing it for a year now. Is that right? Yeah? Bloody hell, time flies. And if you want to chat to me on the social medias, you can do so over here, and you can follow my lovely editor Si over on her social medias over here as well. But before I go, as we discussed today, there are video games that change your perspective on the world, and I hope to end this video on such a subject by also providing you that little bit of a pick-me-up so you can go into your life and live it better. As I always say, I just want the best for you, my friends. I want you to live a healthy and happy life, because you are a big ledge and you deserve the bloody best. You deserve love, happiness, and success, and I want you to go out there and smash your life goals. Not for me, but for you. So treat yourself with that love and respect, all right? That's the least that we can do. With everything else going on in this world, take care of yourselves, all right? As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.